What is the latest Ripple update that will change the course of the trial? How exactly will it affect the court decision? How much will XRP cost after these events? Write your answers in the comments, but for now, we're getting started. No one anticipated that the creation of the XRP coin in 2012 would set off the SEC UVs. Ripple litigation, one of the most famous legal fights in blockchain history. Ripple was one of the biggest digital assets in the crypto industry before Ethereum was even a glimmer in VitalXI. For a long time, crypto news was dominated by the SEC's case against Ripple. Crypto aficionados have gotten desensitized to the fight over time. The fate of XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the whole cryptocurrency industry hangs in the balance of the cease lawsuit. Ripple blockchain is a distributed digital payment system similar to Bitcoin. When it was first introduced in 2012, Ripple's primary goal was to facilitate the rapid and cheap international transfer of multiple fiat currency. The SEC has filed a complaint against Ripple Labs and its CEO Brad Garlinghouse and co-founder Chris Larsen. This is the official case that the XRP lawsuit refers to. In New York, the case is being presided over by Judge Annalisa Torres of the District Court. So what exactly are the SEC and its unmovable chairman Gary Gensler charging Ripple with? Every day, dozens of individuals buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency tokens on secondary markets. Why should XRP be singled out for such heavy SEC regulation? In 2020, the SEC filed charges against Ripple Labs, alleging that the company had raised over $1 billion via the sale of XRP coins, making it the largest regulatory case in the cryptocurrency sector to date. If you've been involved with cryptocurrencies for more than a week, you're undoubtedly aware that ecos like this are widespread. The SEC has a major problem with the sale of XRP coins by Ripple Labs and its executives because, as they see it, these sales constituted unregistered securities offers. According to the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, XRP is not a currency but a security, instead, making it subject to applicable securities regulations. According to the SEC, Ripple's CEO and co-founder were also less than forthright over the course of the transaction. They claim that Garlinghouse and Larsen broke federal securities laws by making false and misleading claims regarding the XRP coin and by failing to formally register the transaction. In conclusion, Gensler LLC Company assert that Ripple Labs had knowledge that XRP should be classified as a security but deliberately withheld that information from its investors. However, proponents of Ripple maintain that XRP is a money and not a security. Thus, it is exempt from regulation under federal securities laws. The XRP coin is not a security under Ripple Labs' definition. While XRP is a currency and not a security, Ripple denies the allegations made against them. Ripple claims that the SEC's incorrect classification of the XRP coin and the XRP as an unregistered security sale are at the heart of the whole legal dispute. Ripple, to rub salt in the wound, asserts that the SEC's contradictory approaches to cryptocurrency regulation stifle a dynamic and forward-thinking sector. The price of XRP skyrocketed today as investors gained optimism that the Ripple v. SEC litigation would most likely be resolved within the next few weeks. This indicates that we may finally be able to see an end to the legal stalemate we've been in. The most essential thing to note is that it seems as if Ripple's prospects of winning the lawsuit are increasing with each passing day. The long-running issue that Ripple has been having with the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, of the United States might be resolved within the next few weeks. This upbeat outlook is a direct result of U.S. District Judge Annalisa Torres' decision, which came after great anticipation to rule on the parties' applications to exclude expert evidence from the pending action. The XRP army greeted the decision with cheers and applause once it was announced. On Twitter, a devoted user of XRP who goes by the online alias Learshit made the insightful observation that a tight victory for Ripple on the basis of strictly mathematical calculations. Almost 246,000 people are following John E. Deaton on Twitter, where he shared the specifics of the judgment with them. Deaton is the creator of the legal news source Cryptolaw and represents clients who own XRP. In response to his message, a user on Twitter posed the question of whether the most recent event may perhaps provide light on the amount of time that remains until we get the summary decision. With a cheery sense of optimism, Deaton made the following observation: "I sincerely doubt that we will see a major delay from here. That may happen today, or it might happen in a few weeks." The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, filed a complaint against Ripple in December 2020, alleging that the company unlawfully marketed unregistered securities totaling $1.03 billion worth of its XRP coin. From its inception, the blockchain payment startup with headquarters in San Francisco has vigorously refuted the notion, maintaining that XRP does not qualify as an investment contract according to the famed How-I test. Ripple's position in this legal dispute seems to be strengthening as a result of recent favorable events in the judicial system. But in the event that the SEC were to emerge victorious in this lawsuit, there would be a highly unfavorable legal precedent for the whole of the cryptocurrency industry. For this reason, investors, developers, and stockholders alike have been watching the case intently over the last 2 years. Fred Rispoli, an attorney, agrees with Deaton's viewpoint. Rispoli expressed his belief that the most recent decision rendered by Judge Torres is evidence that a summary judgment is very near. He claims that it is possible for the judgment to be delivered as soon as this month. Rispoli summed up the situation by saying, "So, summary judgment is either going to come out anytime or J. Torres is going to drop this one first to entice the parties into settlement." Deaton claims that he does not anticipate any lengthy delays from Judge Torres in her determination on summary judgment applications. John E. Deaton, an attorney, has expressed confidence that Ripple would ultimately prevail in its fight against the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. Today, in response to a tweet asking if the revelation of the judge's ruling on Dalbert petitions provides any insights on the timeframe for her summary judgment decision, the creator of CryptoLaw, who represents thousands of XRP investors as a friend of the case, made this known. Deaton doubted there would be major holdups. As the lawyer pointed out, the judge's decision may come tonight or in a few weeks. According to today's reporting, the judge partially allowed and partially refused applications from both sides to strike out expert evidence in her Dalbert motion finding. Judge Torres's rejection of the SEC's reliance on the aforementioned expert views in support of its arguments that XRP holders acquired the token with reasonable expectations of gains entirely from Ripple's efforts is noted in the report as a major victory for XRP holders. The attorney said last week that the verdict on whether XRP is a security might take up to 2 more months, so stay tuned. Stuart Alderodi, the general counsel at Ripple, recently underlined that one of 3 possible outcomes might occur in this case. The judge, hearing this lawsuit, may rule in favor of the SEC, Ripple, or neither party. Deaton has said that he hopes the case would end with the court providing clarity on whether or not the secondary market transactions of XRP, which the SEC also contends represent unregistered securities offerings, are lawful. Even if Ripple loses in the district court, XRP holders would still have won a major win if the judge rules against the SEC's position on this.